Hey guys, my name is Fahd Dawood. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I talk about real estate, investment, life, and your path to financial freedom. Hit the subscribe button, press the bell icon. Love staying in touch with you. If you've got comments or questions, you can put them down in the comment section below. But as of now, up till now, I'm also still available via WhatsApp. So you can always send me questions. If you want to work one-on-one, I'm happy to do that, specifically around real estate investments anywhere in the world. I've got a process-driven method to invest successfully anywhere in the world. It's called the realestatesecretsmap.com. You can download it from there. It's absolutely free, costs you next to nothing, except just pay for the shipping and I'll send it across to you. Okay, check this out. I want to talk about something that I personally experienced during the global financial crisis, and then it came into clarity for me after that, but it came into clarity much after. I want to ask you a question, and this doesn't necessarily relate to real estate investment, it doesn't relate to your job or work or your life in particular, or rather it relates to your life in particular. I want to ask you a question, and perhaps I want to take you to take 1 minute, 2 minutes, close your eyes if you need to, and then imagine this, right? Imagine what age you are right now. So let's say you're 30 years old. I want you to add 10 years to your age. So in 2020, you're 30, and then in 2030, how old will you be? So if you're 30 now, you'll be 40 years old. In 2040, another 10 years, how old will you be? You will be technically 50 years old. I want you to take a moment and I want you to envision a picture of yourself at the age of 50. So let me just clarify something before you start doing this. Visioning is not the same as predicting. So a lot of you might say, hey, I can't predict the future. I don't know what's in store for me. That's fine. I'm with you. Even I can't predict the future. But I want you to just take a moment, close your eyes and envision. Where do you see yourself in 2040 at the age of 50? Now, if you are, let's say 35, you'll be 55 years of age in the year 2040. Just add 20 to your life. Put it down on a paper, take a minute or 2 minutes and envision yourself 20 years in the future. What is that picture that you see? Look, pause this video right now. I really mean it. And I want you to take a moment and write down on a piece of paper, where do you see yourself 20 years from now? Come on, do it. I'm serious. I'm going to wait. Okay, pause and do it now. I'm serious. Hey, you who hasn't done it, do it now. Okay, there you go. So let's take a 2-minute break. All right. So we're back. Check this out. Whatever you've written on the paper, what I would actually go through with you if I was doing this exercise, this is a very small exercise that I do in a day-long workshop that I call Building a Worthy Vision for Yourself. And I'm going to link it to the current outbreak that we're going and experiencing right now. And I'm going to bring it back to how it's very important and relates to where you are in life. If I was going through this exercise with you in front of me, I would actually go down a few steps to help you take your brain and your thinking along and envisioning a life when you are 20 years in the future in 2040. So the first thing I would ask you, I don't put this in any level of importance, but first thing I would ask you is, where do you see yourself financially? Yeah, do you see yourself with where do you see yourself financially? What do you feel, and how much money are you making on a monthly basis? So are you making $10,000, $20,000, $150,000? What do you see yourself doing? Are you still working? Are you running a business? Are you running a business in a specific country? Where do you think you're living? Are you living in the country that you're in now? Do you have multiple houses in different parts of the world, etc., etc.? And I'll go down that. Financially, where do you see yourself? And then I would ask you, where do you see yourself in terms of family, Intellectually, how would you like to develop yourself in the next 20 years? Spiritually, where do you see yourself? And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how and where do you see your health? Now, I'm going to make this video short and I'm not going to make it very long, but the point I'm trying to get across to you is, look, it is very important for a large number of us to have a clear, crystal clear, crisp, certain vision of where do we see ourselves in the future, because what that vision does is helps you day to day motivate yourself towards that vision. Now, in another video, perhaps I'll cover that the purpose behind that vision is also very important, but I'm not going to cover that right now. But I'm just looking at that future picture that you might have for yourself in the future, because what that picture does for you is it helps you navigate the ups and downs of your current year. So when you've got this outbreak going on, when you've got perhaps, no, I'm not going to call it redundancy, perhaps your work is asking you to stay at home for a little while with pay, without pay, what it helps you do is keeps you on track to where you want it to go, and you do not make short-term bad decisions that would affect you in the long run. And I'll give you an example on this, right? So some of you might know this, but I was born and raised in Dubai, but for 7 years, I was living in Toronto, Canada, right? Now, during the global financial crisis of 2008, 2009, 10, I was based in Dubai. I was working, I had my own company, I was a partner in a real estate company, I was doing consulting, etc. And then the crash happened, and you know what? I was like this headless chicken. I didn't know anything better on how to recover from that. But one of the things that I had made a conscious decision in 2007 was to leave Canada for the East, because I felt my family's here, it's a country I want to live in, and there's a lot of opportunity here. But you know what happened? In 2009 or 10, let's say, when jobs were scarce and you weren't getting paid as much, one of the things that I decided to do was go back and move back to Canada. But I personally think that it would have been a big mistake for me to move back to Canada, because, business is in the East, populations are growing in the East, and where exactly would be the best place to be based except Dubai? Because Dubai has great infrastructure, security, family friendly, and you can basically service 4 billion people around this place, right? But I'm not going to get into the details of why I wanted to go, but by 2012, I did this amazing course called Strategic Visions, and there's this person from, he was studying and doing a lot of work in the US. The company's called Time Lenders, and they taught this course. It was a 3-day course. And when I did this course, I recognized the importance of having a clear long-term vision, because once you have that long-term clear vision, it's very difficult for adversity to come in and then make you change course immediately. Because a lot of people who don't have that clear long-term vision go in life left, right, center, up, down, and it leads them to a place where sometimes they look back and they say, you know what, getting here, I've lost a lot of opportunity and lost a lot of time and resources that I would not have lost had I stuck to my original path and gone down to where I wanted to go. This has become a little bit of a rant, but next time I'm going to explain this concept more from maybe perhaps I'll use a blackboard and explain it more clearer. But look, guys, right now is the time for you to settle down and think on a piece of paper where you want to be 20 years from now, because that vision, that picture of the future that you see for yourself is going to define the decisions you make this week, this month, and this year. For instance, I'll give you a very clear example. I've got an investor of mine who was looking to actually invest about, it was a small amount, less than $100,000 in the Dubai real estate market. And his dream is to go on to own 12 properties or more, so he can finally quit his job and become financially free. Now, given the current circumstances, this is the time you actually go out there and pick up deals, right? However, because he's not so clear in where he wants to be in the long term, he's just told me like, hey, listen, maybe, I don't know what's going to happen with the job situation. Let's slow it down and let's not invest, right? You know what? That's perfectly fine with me. That's water off my back. I'm not going to lose a lot of commission money in that. But he is going to, when he looks back, because he didn't have a clear long-term plan, as soon as a little bit of adversity comes in, he decides to pull back and decides not to do something that would be good for his long-term future, right? He decides to hunker down, say what he has, and be scared. Right now would be an ideal time for anybody to actually go into the market and look for deals, just like people did in 2008, 2009, 2012, 10. But I understand not everybody's got a clear vision of the future, and no, not everybody's going to be able to do that. But you owe it to yourself to take down on a piece of paper and just answer these 5 questions on where you see yourself financially, family, intellectually, spiritually, and on your health indicator in 20 years from now. What's that picture of the future you see for yourself? You owe it to yourself. Trust me, it's going to help you pull yourself through these times that people are going to consider tough, but you're going to be on your game. You're going to be moving through. All right, hit the subscribe button, press the bell icon. I'm here. If love to start a dialogue with you in the comment section. If you want to work one-on-one, or if you need individualized advice on real estate, hit me up. I answer my WhatsApp. That's the fastest way to come to me. Check you out on the other side.